Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. If you use Medicare, or if someone you love does, this is one of the most important healthcare updates you'll hear all year. It's about prescription drug prices. And yes, there is finally some good news. For years, so many seniors have been forced to make impossible choices. Do I pay for my medicine or my groceries? Do I refill all my prescriptions, or just the most important ones? Do I cut pills in half to make them last longer? If any of that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Because Medicare is officially stepping in and negotiating lower drug prices. And in 2027, real savings are expected to begin for millions of seniors. Today, we're going to walk through exactly what that means, which types of drugs are included, how this affects your wallet, what you should watch for, and what simple steps you can take right now to prepare. No confusing jargon. No political arguing, just clear, helpful information for real people. Let's start with the big picture. For the first time in history, Medicare is now allowed to negotiate directly with drug companies over the price of certain high-cost prescription medications. This is a major change. In the past, Medicare had to accept whatever price the drug companies set. Now, Medicare can finally sit at the table and say, "This is too expensive. Our seniors deserve better." And because Medicare covers tens of millions of people, it has enormous buying power. That means when Medicare negotiates, it can push for meaningfully lower prices. The same way large retailers negotiate costs, so they can offer better deals to customers. Under this new system, the government selects a group of very expensive, very commonly used brand name medications. Then they negotiate a maximum fair price for each one. That negotiated price becomes the highest amount Medicare will pay for that drug, starting in a future year. In this round of negotiations, which will affect pricing in 2027, Medicare selected 15 high-cost drugs. These drugs were chosen because they are heavily used by seniors, and cost the Medicare system billions of dollars every year. Now let's talk about what kinds of medications these are, because this is where it really hits home. The drugs selected for the 2027 negotiations include medications used to treat type 2 diabetes, weight management and blood sugar control, asthma and COPD, certain cancers, heart conditions, autoimmune and inflammatory diseases. These are not rare or obscure treatments. These are everyday medications that many seniors rely on, just to breathe, to control their blood sugar, to stay mobile, to fight cancer, and simply to live normal daily lives. Some of these drugs currently cost hundreds, even thousands of dollars per month without insurance. Even with Medicare, the out-of-pocket costs can still be overwhelming. That's why this program is expected to make such a big difference. According to government estimates, these new, negotiated prices could save the Medicare system about $12 billion in 1 year alone. More importantly, seniors themselves are expected to save hundreds of millions of dollars out of their own pockets. And that's not some abstract number, that's real money back into real households. That's groceries, that's utilities, that's rent, that's travel, that's grandkids, that's peace of mind. Now, let's clear up one very important point. These new prices do not start immediately. The negotiated prices for this round of drugs are scheduled to begin in 2027. That means your 2025 and 2026 prescription costs will mostly stay the same. But the work being done right now is what makes those future savings possible. Think of this as laying the tracks now, for a much smoother and more affordable ride ahead. Now you might be wondering, why weren't drug prices negotiated before? Why did this take so long? For decades, Medicare was legally prohibited from negotiating drug prices directly with pharmaceutical companies. That rule was built into the original Medicare laws. Drug companies were free to set their own prices, even when Medicare was the biggest buyer. That finally changed with the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act. This law gave Medicare the authority to negotiate, slowly, carefully, and with safeguards, but at last, the door is open. Each year, Medicare can add more drugs to the negotiation list. The first round began earlier with a smaller group of medications. Now, the program is expanding. This means that over time, more and more high-cost drugs could see lower prices for seniors. Now let's talk about what this actually means for you personally. If you take one of the medications on the negotiated list, your out-of-pocket costs under Medicare Part D could be significantly lower once the new prices go into effect. That means lower monthly co-pays, lower costs in the coverage gap, less pressure to hit catastrophic coverage thresholds, more predictable prescription spending. It also means fewer seniors will feel forced to delay refills, skip doses, or cut pills in half just to stretch a budget. That alone could improve health outcomes across the country. Now let's address a common question. Does this affect everyone on Medicare? The negotiated prices apply to Medicare Part D plans, which are the prescription drug plans most seniors use. If you have a standalone Part D plan or a Medicare Advantage plan with drug coverage, these negotiated prices can apply to you if the medication is on the list. However, not every medication will be included, and not every person takes one of the selected drugs. This isn't a universal price cut for all prescriptions, but it is a major step forward. Over time, as more drugs are added to the program, more people will benefit. Now let's talk honestly about concerns. Some people worry that if drug prices are forced lower, companies might reduce research and development. Others worry that access could be affected. These debates are ongoing, but for seniors living on fixed incomes right now, for those choosing between medication and food, the immediate need for affordability is very real. For many, this program means relief. Plain and simple. Now let's shift to what you should do between now and 2027. Here are 4 simple steps that can help you prepare. First, make a complete list of all your current medications. Include the name, dosage, and how often you take it. Second, ask your pharmacist or doctor whether any of your medications are on the Medicare negotiation list for 2027, or if similar drugs may be added in the future. Third, review your Medicare Part D plan every year during open enrollment. Plans change every year, drug tiers change, costs change. Never assume last year's plan is still the best deal. Fourth, stay informed. Medicare will send updates. Social Security offices, pharmacies, and senior centers will share information. And of course, you can always check trusted sources like AARP. Now let's also talk about one extremely important protection that is already in effect. Starting in 2025, Medicare Part D will cap annual out-of-pocket prescription drug costs at $2,000 per year. That means even if your drugs are extremely expensive, once you reach that cap, you won't pay more for covered medications for the rest of the year. That cap alone is expected to help millions of seniors immediately, even before the negotiated drug prices begin. So when you combine the out-of-pocket cap, and the upcoming negotiated prices, and future drug additions, we are finally seeing a real shift toward affordability. Now let's talk about peace of mind. For many seniors, the stress of prescription costs is constant. It's a quiet anxiety that never really goes away. You worry every time the pharmacy rings up your total. You brace yourself at the counter. Programs like this don't just save money, they also reduce fear. They restore a sense of control. And that matters more than numbers on a spreadsheet. Now before we wrap up, let's review the most important takeaways. Medicare is now negotiating drug prices for the first time in history. 15 high-cost medications are scheduled for lower prices in 2027. These drugs treat common conditions like diabetes, asthma, cancer, and heart disease. Seniors are expected to see meaningful out-of-pocket savings. The new prices do not start immediately, but the groundwork is being laid now. You should review your medications, your Part D plan, and stay informed each year. If you take only one thing away from today, let it be this: help is coming. It may not be instant, it may not fix everything at once, but the system is finally moving in a direction that puts seniors first, and that is worth paying attention to. If you found this information helpful, please consider sharing it with a friend, a neighbor, or a family member who uses Medicare. One conversation could save someone hundreds or even thousands of dollars in the coming years. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I truly appreciate every one of you. Take good care of your health, take good care of each other, and I'll see you in the next video.